They say kindness doesn't cost a thing, but sometimes it rewrites destinies. Imagine Maya was 27, an elementary school teacher whose smile could calm even the noisiest classroom. Her job didn't make her rich, but it gave her purpose. Every afternoon, she stayed late grading papers, then stopped by a small supermarket on Maple Street to buy fruit or milk before heading home. She lived alone in a modest apartment, filling it with potted plants and laughter from her students' drawings taped to the wall. That Thursday evening began like any other, until she heard the shouting. A man's voice boomed near the checkout line. "Sir, I told you already, you can't touch things you can't pay for." Curious heads turned. Maya froze beside the dairy shelf, her hand hovering over a carton of milk. At the counter stood an old man, gray hair flattened against his scalp, shirt faded, shoes worn. He held a loaf of bread and some fruit, his hands trembling as he tried to explain. I thought I had enough," he said softly. "Maybe I left my wallet at home." A few customers snickered. A teenage boy whispered, "Classic, old people pretending to buy just to get pity." The cashier folded his arms. "Look, sir, stop wasting my time. Put it back and leave." Maya's stomach twisted. The humiliation in that old man's eyes was unbearable. That mixture of pride and pain that only comes from a long life of being overlooked. Then the cashier raised his voice again. "Security, can someone escort him out?" That was when Maya moved. Without thinking, she stepped forward and placed herself between the old man and the counter. "Excuse me," she said, steady but firm. "He's not leaving. I'll pay for his items." The store fell silent. A middle-aged woman muttered, "People will do anything for attention these days." Maya ignored her. She reached for the bread, added 2 cartons of milk and a small pack of eggs. "Please bag these together," she told the cashier, pulling out her worn purse. The cashier frowned. "Miss, you don't even know him." "I don't have to," Maya replied. "He could be my father, or yours." For a moment, no one spoke. The old man looked at her like he was seeing something sacred. His lips quivered. "You don't have to, my child. It's just bread." Maya smiled softly. "Then let it be my bread today." She paid, thanked the cashier politely, even though he still looked half ashamed, and turned toward the exit. The supermarket doors slid open with a hiss, letting in the cool evening air. Outside, the sky was bruised with orange and purple. Streetlights flickered awake. She handed the old man the small grocery bag. "Here, please, take this home and eat." He blinked rapidly, his eyes glistening. You're very kind. Not many people stop anymore." "Maybe they're just busy," she said with a small shrug. "But I'm not." They shared a quiet smile. For a heartbeat, the world seemed gentle again. Then he said something strange. "You remind me of someone. Someone my son should meet." Maya laughed lightly. "I hope your son appreciates that kind of compliment." The man's expression softened. He would, if only he knew. They stood there for a moment. 2 strangers connected by something invisible yet powerful. Finally, Maya glanced at the time. "I should catch my bus." "Of course, my dear. Thank you." She waved, then hurried down the street, her brown ponytail swaying behind her. The old man stayed where he was, watching her disappear into the crowd. He pressed the grocery bag against his chest, like it carried more than food, like it carried hope. A single tear slid down his cheek. He reached slowly into his pocket, pulled out a small, old-fashioned flip phone, and dialed. "Hello, son," he said,
voice trembling. "It's me. I've found her." He looked back toward the supermarket entrance, where the automatic doors kept opening and closing for strangers who hadn't seen what just happened. Then he whispered to himself, "Kindness still exists, after all." Sometimes it takes just one small act of kindness to awaken a miracle waiting quietly in the background. This story continues in part 2.